Many people believe that they're good speakers. They're eloquent and persuasive. However, when they try to express their thoughts and feelings, they often realize that they're not as good as they think. It becomes a challenge for them to put into spoken words what they want to express. They have all the right words in their minds, but when they start speaking, they all become senseless and messy. It is hard for the listeners to understand them. This is a common scenario when it comes to communicating, but not a hopeless one. In this video, let's learn how to master communicating and expressing ourselves to others. You may know a few tips, but the strategies you'll see in this video are all effective and guaranteed to make you the best speaker. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tap the bell button so you won't miss any of our videos. They say that there are 3 kinds of people you get to meet in your lifetime: the arrogant, the fool, and the student. The arrogant person firmly sees themselves as better than others. They are great at communicating and there's nothing else to improve. The fool ignores the importance of communication. As long as they can talk, say sentences, or answer questions, making their words cohesive is irrelevant. On the other hand, a student-type person is different. They know that there are still many areas in their communication skills that need to be improved. A good communicator is not born, it is made. Communicating well is not an innate skill, it is to be learned. Among these 3, the student is most likely to succeed in life because they are aware of what they need to work on. Communication is incredibly important in today's world. How well you can communicate often determines your success, even if you lack other skills. Moreover, the way you communicate can also affect your connection with other people. As you have observed, great speakers are also good leaders. They can easily command respect from others and influence them. This may sound like hard work and time-consuming, but being a powerful speaker is possible and doable. The truth is, when we were young, we really didn't care about effective communication. We don't see it as a skill that needs to be honed. We always act like it is unimportant, but as we grow older and experience the world, we then realize how helpful effective communication is in getting a job, expressing our feelings, presenting our ideas, or selling our business. The success of what we do is always deeply rooted in how well we communicate with our employers, our life partners, or colleagues. It is through our speaking skills that we convince them to believe in us and to take risks with us. Without further ado, let's learn in this video how to become an excellent and effective speaker. Here are 6 simple and practical ways to level up your communication skills. Firstly, before you say anything, take a moment to think. As what they say, think before you speak. We often encounter people who immediately blurt out their thoughts without caring if they make sense. Especially these days in the age of social media, people are so careless and ruthless with their words. All they want is to have a say in everything. They feel the need to respond to an issue or a question right away, even though they haven't checked if all they're saying are facts and appropriate. However, there are times when we feel pressured to answer immediately because we think that it's the right thing to do. When someone asks us for directions, we feel the need to respond right away even if we aren't so sure of our answers. All the more when an authority asks us questions. We don't think at all. We just blurt out the first things that come to mind. In the end, we regret the words we said because we look like a fool. This is the reason why you need to think before you speak. Let's learn how to pause, think about what words to use, and how to deliver them in a way that is smart and respectful. Taking a moment to pause can change everything in a conversation. It stops you from saying things you might wish you hadn't. Here's the trick. The more you pause before speaking, the less time you'll need to pause in the future. Why? Because you're teaching yourself to think quicker when under pressure. Initially, you might need longer pauses to think through your response, and it might feel a bit strange. But soon enough, you'll be able to give thoughtful answers easily because your brain will be working faster than others. That's why you often see some people, whether in debates or on podcasts, effortlessly giving great responses. It's not because they've memorized everything or are super talented. It's because they're used to thinking before they talk. Their brains are just quicker at processing thoughts and coming up with answers. So before you say anything, take a moment to think. Second, be mindful of the words you use. They hold power, so choose them wisely. Think about how the other person might take them. It's not just about what you're saying, but also how it might come across to them. Your choice of words, along with your tone, can change how they understand your message. Even if you mean well, using the wrong words or tone can make things seem disrespectful or unfriendly. When you speak aggressively, you'll appear angry even if you insist that you're not. But if you speak softly, you tend to be friendlier and more approachable. Always be careful and considerate of how others might feel. This doesn't mean that you should be overly sensitive or start speaking indirectly. It's important to think about whether what you're about to say is really needed, fits the situation, and is appropriate. If it's not, it's better to keep quiet and wait for a better moment to share your thoughts. Remember, being able to express yourself well means being in control of what you say. Third, you must practice active listening. In other words, learn how to listen. This is one of the most effective ways to improve your communication skills. Sounds pretty easy, right? But this rarely happens, especially to those people who love to talk about themselves. Whenever there's a conversation, they make sure that they're the center of it and want everyone to know what's happening in their lives. This may sound harmless, but the more you constantly talk about yourself, the more you push people away from you. The secret ingredient in winning people over is to listen to them. Being a good listener is just as important as being a good speaker. But how to be a good listener? Here are some tips to help you, and this can make a difference in your life. First things first, don't interrupt. It's frustrating for the other person when you cut them off. It can make them feel like you think your words are more important or that you don't value what they have to say. If you're naturally quick to think or talk, make an effort to slow down so the other person can fully express themselves. Remember, it's okay to have a moment of silence. Give them space to talk. Not only will this help them feel heard, but it'll also make it easier for you to understand what they're trying to say. Next, keep an eye on nonverbal cues like facial expressions, tone of voice, and gestures. These can tell you a lot, sometimes even more than words themselves. Pay attention to what the other person is expressing through their body language. Also, listen without judging or jumping to conclusions. If you start getting emotional about what's being said, it can distract you from truly listening to the next part of the conversation. Try to focus on listening without bias. Don't try to guess what the other person will say next, and don't plan your response in your head because you can't listen and plan at the same time. Lastly, avoid pushing your opinions or solutions onto others. We all have pride, and most people prefer to figure things out on their own. Instead of telling someone what to do, it's better to ask questions or offer suggestions. Being a good listener doesn't stop here. You need how to show you're engaged through your body language. You may nod when you agree or make eye contact. These are pretty simple actions, but they speak volumes when it comes to connecting with people. These are just 3 strategies that you can use to master the art of communication. Try to master these 3 important tips, and the rest will come easier for you. Click the second part of the video to learn more effective strategies. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tap the notification button to stay updated on the latest videos.